Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. It has been an amazing day on the equities front. So a good day to be an equity investor today after a bloodbath that we have seen over the last week and a half or so. And of course, this comes as Trump has reversed the reciprocal tariffs that were implemented yesterday, so reducing those tariffs to 10%. But China not having any luck there with additional tariffs imposed on China imports to 125%. Of course, the JSE celebrating that, the all share surging by almost 4.5%. We do have the resources 10 complex here that's rocketed more than 8%, and the financial 15 with a climb of almost 4.5%. Industrial 25 eking out gains of more than 3%. Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. And quite surprisingly, after the rally that we saw last night in those U.S. markets, they have pulled back significantly. Not really sure what they're worried about. Maybe it is the uncertainty, because that pause, of course, has been given a timeline of 90 days. So maybe markets are looking forward to after the 90 days as to what will be next. So a lot of uncertainty driving those markets. It seems at this point the S&P 500 declining almost 4%, the tech-heavy Nasdaq shedding more than 4%, and the Dow with a loss of almost 3%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets across the Atlantic, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how the European Union also responds to the Trump tariff pause, because yesterday they had implemented countermeasures to the tariffs that the US had imposed on the EU on the steel and aluminium sectors. So we'll see if they do pull those back, because they had said that they are always willing to negotiate and that those reciprocal tariffs can actually be suspended at any time. So looking at the FTSE 100 eking out a gain of more than 3.5%, the CAC 40 rocketing by almost 5%, and the DAX climbing by almost 5.5%. Let's take a look at the currency scene and start off with how the Rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Significant strength coming through to the Rand of more than 1% against the US dollar, now standing at 19 Rand 52. Of course, yesterday it had been at levels over 19 Rand 80 against the US dollar. The Rand against the pound at 25 Rand 31, and against the euro at 21.83.